Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I can't. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From drug.
Yes, good people. Big up to all of you. I appreciate you all finding the time to be with us for another edition of Chelsea News Roundup Show this evening. It is 5:42 p.m. For me CST time. I do hope you're all doing well. We have a few items lined up to talk about, but as usual, because we keep it interactive here, chances are we talk a lot about a little. We have lined up. We'll talk about Jorrel Hato. We'll talk about Xavi Simons. We'll talk about Joao Felix joining Al-Nassr and Cristiano Ronaldo calling for the club to sign up Marc Cucurella. We do have a few other items that we don't have listed there in the title to discuss. But more importantly, I do hope you're all doing well. Again, I appreciate you all finding the time to be part of the conversation this particular evening. First person, Constantine Dantu, the captain of the community. He's there, and at the same time, cooking me for the timing and the delay, everything. Yep, why having fun in Dubai. Let's see what else we have here. And if you're listening, the link is above. Let's see what else we have here. Then the next item from him also, and the next comment there. Press and hold your screen for just about a second, then you see all the bells and whistles, including like, comment, and share options. Yes, we still do beg for likes because, yeah, we're not a big account yet, but we've started the journey to 28K subscribers. Hopefully, we get there soon. Ice Cold Patrick, I am just one aside observing. Keep it up. And he says, Joao Felix is a talented player, but off the ball, he's not outstanding. We'll get to that in a bit. I don't think the defensive aspect of the game is his biggest issue. Something else is. I don't know what it is. But going back what we've experienced so far, we've had two chances, you can say opportunities to get to know what the problem is with the situation. But I'm not sure even that would be able to tell why, given his talent, why he's you can say he's stagnated. But that we get to that in a bit. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way, and we have the captain of the community in the house, in Constantine Dunn. Big up to you, the captain of the community. Once again, I do hope you're doing well. I'm gonna screaming that even 1,000 times again. Yeah, because I want some people to get pissed. But that's, by the way, happy to have you on the panel. I'm guessing you're still in Dubai, having a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, big up, coach. Yeah, look, yeah,
and also
fun.
and also in the bathroom.
No, the ensuite. No. I have to be. It's 2 a.m., so I have to be.
So you don't want to wake them up.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, sorry for the echo. If there's a little bit of an echo, but
that's fine.
Yeah,
right. I mean, we have to. You can say contribute money to buy you an echo canceling microphone, but you're on vacation anyway. So go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, big up everyone in the chat as well.
Yeah. So let's start addressing the items we have lined up immediately without wasting your time. The first item, Joao Felix, a contract at Al-Nassr will be valid until June 2027, 2 years. A 2-year contract. I think that's sensible. He's probably accepted a 2-year contract, doesn't want to overcommit. So if he finds it difficult to cope with the cultural differences and all that, he just run back to Europe. But I think it makes sense. 2 years makes sense. Maybe he comes back to Europe a better, you could say, a more humble player, changed, realizing that with the realization that things will not always go his way. I think the talent is still there, but something isn't quite right. Isn't either off the bat, I'd say, because he wants to be the center of attention wherever he goes. And when he doesn't get that, he doesn't really perform at the highest level. That's how I see it. But I want to get your thoughts, and I want you to also see. I think we did conclude yesterday that probably he ditched the possibility of going back to Benfica for Al-Nassr because of Cristiano Ronaldo. It turns out that was actually the case. But let's hear you.
Yeah, look, if he doesn't make it in, if he somehow leaves Al Nassr as well, and he doesn't make it there, well, then he just needs to retire. Honestly, if he if he can't make it
Mm-hmm.
there and settle in, well, he just needs to retire. But yeah, I'm not sure if you remember, I was saying a few months ago now, I was saying when he fell out with sort of Maresca and he left, I'm like, he's gonna end up in Saudi. I was convinced he's gonna end up there. Maybe Benfica, but I said probably Saudi is gonna end up. He's probably gonna go for a couple of years, get
Mm-hmm.
some really, really, really good tax-free money, and see how he goes, and then he can always come back because he's still quite young. So that's exactly what's happened. I think it's good for him, like you said. A bit of a different perspective. He's going to have Ronaldo there. He's going to really try to. He won't want to upset Ronaldo. I can tell you that. So he's going to
Good.
have that fight.
That'd be it for his international career too.
That's his for everything. If he does that,
Mm-hmm.
no club's having him. Saudis bye bye. No other Saudi club will have him either. So if he upsets Ronaldo, well, yeah. So I think he'll be good there. I think under Ronaldo he'll be good, and he should shine in that league as well. You said he likes the limelight. He should shine in that league. To be honest, the position he plays as well, he should really shine in that league. But yeah, we'll see how he gets along. Hopefully, all good. I'm just happy we got our money back and a little bit some on top there, and probably might even get a lot back if he comes back to Europe because we apparently included a bit of a sell-on clause or something as well. So
That you
we'll
can
see.
that's very correct. Just quickly, if you don't mind, the sell-on clause and everything, image rights. Again, I'm not sure about image right, but the sell-on clause probably the reason why we sold them for such low fee.
Yeah, look, it's still kind of reported it was 30 million plus there's 20, 30 million on top, but we don't know exactly 100% yet. Then now today they came out and said it's 50 million with 10 million add-ons. So we don't know exactly 100% yet, but either way, we've got our money back and if he does really well and then he comes back to Europe, we
Mhm.
definitely have something in there as well. So look, it's a win-win for everyone in the end. It didn't work out. With Maresca, I always said I'm not sure if he seems like the type of player that has some attitude issues, as in he might complain in training, not really like that he's not playing a game, positionally wise. He seems like a bit of a complainer, and I think that's what's got him in trouble most of his career. Hopefully, like I said, going to Al Nassr, Ronaldo's there. Hopefully, he gets that out of him, but yeah, we'll wait and see. Good luck to him. Anyway, we got our money
How
back.
about
So I'm happy.
the aspect of him wanting to be the center of our attention wherever he goes? The main guy syndrome, as I would call it. I think that's
Yeah,
part
no
of the
patience,
issue.
coach. No patience.
No patience too. Yeah, you could argue, and I've heard people uh, say something to the effect of the reason why his second stint at Chelsea failed, which I'd say no, he actually did well. It's just that he wasn't patient. And the manager actually wanted him to stay and was clear that, yeah, he does want him to stay. He likes him. But the manager made a mistake that I don't want to talk about. I've forgiven him for multitude of reasons. And I've always said, I've said it 1,000 times, that
Yeah,
the manager had the opportunity to create a healthy competition between Joao Felix and Cole Palmer. And had he done that in the absence of Cole Palmer when we struggled a bit, he could have been there to even do more and be motivated to show that, yeah, he can measure the sort of performance we get from Cole Palmer. But that's by the way. Yeah, I agree. So to an extent, you could argue him wanting to be the center of attention, the main guy syndrome, probably the reason why, yeah, he's struggled, uh, you know, to to get where a lot of people expect that he'd be. But it's not too late, yeah, because he's still quite young. But go ahead with what you were saying.
yeah. I don't think it's quite center of attention, as in because he's going Al-Nassr is not going to be even there is not a center of attention.
No,
So
Ronaldo will always be. I mean,
and there's some others really good
he
players
can
around
cry all
Ronaldo
he
there as
wants.
well, not just Ronaldo. Uh, so he's not going to be the center of attention there. So I don't think it's quite that. I just think probably just talks, maybe talks up to the manager, to the assistants, maybe doesn't get that well along with some of the teammates. There's other little issues there. I think that's more than him actually wanting that attention because, I mean, he still gets it anywhere he goes, but I think it's a little bit more than that. And Maresca would have kept him. He would have played a lot of games. But for Maresca not to keep him, to me, that was very clear. Maresca's pretty tough,
No,
as in
but
he,
let's be honest here. First of all, he wanted to go out on loan.
yeah, because he didn't want to wait. He didn't want to be patient and wait for.
Exactly. And when he left for that loan spell, we heard maybe you could call it, you can, I mean, if you want, you can call it a brief if you want to. We did hear something that suggests we still want to take him to the Club World Cup. Him, Renato Viega, it was the same for all of them. But you could argue that everything changed given what they started saying the moment they arrived. They got to the club that loaned them. He was saying something like
Yeah.
he feels at home, wants to stay, something like that. He basically saying that he doesn't want to go back to Chelsea. I think Viega did the same thing. So we moved on quickly. You know, for me, look, I like him, but I'm just happy that that's it for the relationship. And again, he becomes a money making machine for us, and I'm happy. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And you know this ownership. If you say something that you don't want to be there, just give a little inclination. Not just the ownership. I think it goes Maresca, the assistants, the directors, and
Mm.
then it goes up to the direct, obviously to the owners as well. But I think if you just mention or give a little inclination that you don't want to be there, well, you're gone. You don't get a second chance. You're just going to go. They're going to sell you, loan you, or train with the reserves, and we've seen that really. So they're really sticking to that, and that's good. I think that's how it should be. So I'm happy with that. I
I
don't
mean,
mind
if
that
you're
at all.
not committed to the cause, why keep you? You have to be committed to the cause. It's really that simple.
Exactly, and that's what I say. I don't think he's. I think he complains. He might talk back to the assistants or to Maresca. He might have said something or done something because it's a pattern now. It's not something isolated. It's the same at AC Milan. They didn't want him back. They let him go pretty easily. Barcelona people said Barcelona couldn't afford him. Well, no, really, if they really wanted to, they would have got him if they really wanted to, if he was that good. But they weren't quite convinced for some reason as well. So yeah, look, it's a pattern now. It's obvious,
Oh,
but like I said, wish him
obviously,
good
yeah.
luck and thanks for the cash.
Yeah, no longer a you can say one-off event, and I'd go to the extent of saying before we re-signed him, we signed him for the second time. The second time, I think we knew that there's a chance that yeah, it will not work out, but probably a good it was a good you can say an opportunistic signing, one that we knew if at the end it doesn't work out, we'd make some money from his sale, and that's exactly what it has become. But that's by the way, we do have Bobby in the house. Bobby, I appreciate you finding the time to be part of the conversation this evening. I know it's very late for you. Your thoughts on the Joao Felix situation? He's gone to Al-Nassr, and I thought that definitely he was going to join. That he was going to join Benfica, his boyhood club, and probably was trying to help them get things done. He only wanted to go to Benfica, and then Ronaldo called. That's how I see it. I wouldn't say Al Nassr called, and he said it to Saudi Arabia. But good deal, sensible contract. 2 years, a 2 year contract for me makes sense. If he finds it difficult to cope with the differences in culture, he can just run back to Europe. But Bobby, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, big up, guys.
Big up to you too.
Big up, Bobby.
To me, it doesn't really matter where he goes. To be honest, I don't care. We've got money for him. He wasn't earning that much, but he's another one off the books. One thing I find peculiar is you have all these fans that complain when we don't sell players. Then when we sell players for a, shall I say, a reasonable amount, they're complaining and pushing a narrative for some sort of inquest, which is really odd. I mean, somebody comes and buys your players, that's it. I mean, anyway, look, it didn't work for him at Chelsea, unfortunately. it's not the only club he's had issues with. I just think he's obnoxious, perhaps, which triggers some inconsistency of performance. Whether uh, Ronaldo tempted him to Al-Nassr or not, and the lure of a place in the Portuguese national team for the World Cup, I don't know. I know that the money he's getting there probably didn't hurt either, tax free. So it's all good, you know. For me, my mind now is more on getting rid of people like Sterling, Chilwell, and Mando Broja, um, which is very weird that nobody really is looking at Broja. I don't quite understand why
I think
nobody.
there are a few German, one, two German clubs or so looking at him, but
Yes.
probably looking to get him. We would most likely be a loan with an option for a permanent purchase or so. But not too nothing serious, like you said. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean he's been loaned enough. There's something wrong um, when clubs aren't in for you and you're that age, and I think it's his injuries for sure. Chilwell,
And performances actually, more importantly, you say, because clubs sometimes
really,
they're willing to risk it if you're performing, and if injuries, just like in the case of Carney Chukwuemeka, Dortmund wants to take him on a loan for one more time, and then with an option for a permanent purchase. Even Leipzig, that were negotiating for the deal of Xavi Simons, they want him too, even though they know he's injury prone. So you have to at least be performing for clubs to want to buy you in the first place. But go ahead, Bobby.
well, to be fair, each time I saw him performing for Everton, I don't think he did so badly. I think personally, I think it's his injuries. People don't fancy it.
Hmm.
That's just my personal take. I
You
have
think
no.
his is too much, right?
Yeah, he's too injury prone.
Yeah, hardly
He'll
ever
give
see.
you, yeah, he'll give you 2 or 3 games and then go off for the rest of the season, which nobody wants and nobody wants to invest in. That's not an investment.
Yeah,
That's
and it's his
why they
position as well.
exactly. That's why they keep looking for loans, because at least with a loan, you may at some point be able to terminate the loan and send the player back.
Hmm.
Same perhaps with Ben Chilwell. Um, Chile and Raheem Chile not so much so because before his injury, Ben Chilwell was a major part of the Chelsea team. He was so important on that left back side, like Cucurella was or is. But after his injury, he lost something in his game and he kept getting injured over and over again. And that's what kind of has scuppered him. But yeah, bye to Joao Felix. He came over twice, didn't work out. We've got some money back for him. I think, if my memory serves me well, that should satisfy UEFA in terms of registering players, because we had to sell 2 players that were registered for the past European campaign. Well, we've certainly done that. We've sold him and Madweke, so that should satisfy that side of things as we go on to sell more.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you for that, Bobby. Dante, anything else you want to add to that before we proceed? But here, Ice Cold Patrick says that the best-selling club, Pride of London, Chelsea. I was super impressed with the deal. I've always known that I don't believe how much that again we when we learned about the news yesterday, I was concerned about how much that was being mentioned. I didn't think it was enough, and then I learned that there's more to it. Actually, that was when I said, yeah, exactly. That's my club. We don't sell players for cheap, irrespective of whether the player hasn't been performing of late or not. But that's, by the way, Joao Felix, good luck to him. Quite sure Cristiano Ronaldo, as we've learned, yeah, made the call. And he says bye. Then he said bye, Felicia, to to Benfica, who you could argue before yesterday probably thought, yeah, they were getting him and they were going to get him for cheap. All right, Dante, this particular item here, no surprises. And I'm concerned to a certain extent. How old is he right now? 27 going 28, right? Cucurella.
27, yeah. Yep.
I don't think we'll be able to offer him something that he'd look at and say, you know what, I'm not going there. I've always known that, again, given the fact that we offer highly incentivized salary, that is just me trying to speak objectively about my opinion on his Chelsea future. Now, at that age, I think even Madrid will be looking at him, Barcelona will be looking at him, and Spain is home. I've always been concerned. This is just me presenting my opinion here. And it should the Saudis come with a good offer and offer me, you could say 100% salary increase, and I don't think would measure that. In the first place, he already knows that our new contract, the format of contract we offer to players, will be heavily incentivized, and he had the options to choose to go to clubs where he just have something, no strings attached. Week in, week out, he gets again his agreed salary. I'm concerned that chances are, yeah, he's not going to be at Chelsea for far too long. This is business for all parties involved: the players, the club. The club wants what's best for them. The player wants what's best for them too. He would want to secure his future. If the Saudis come calling, I think it'd be difficult for him to say no. It take a lot. Family maybe, and the fact that his family, again, he and his family are settled in London. I think his kids were born in London too, something like that. I think he has about 2 kids, or at least one. It is difficult to see him at Chelsea for the next 2 years, but because the salary thing, it's a huge factor to look at. And given his age, you've heard my opinion on that. But let's hear you, Dante.
Well, he just turned 27, so basically, he's got another year to be 27. So it's not quite that bad. So, look, he's got 3 years left on his contract, till 28, till June 28, I think. And yeah, look, it'll be completely up to the player. There's no way we're selling him. We've already said no already to another club, apparently, that offered some money. We said no chance.
And can I say this quickly? There's no way we'd sell him. We're not going to be looking to sell him. But if the player says, I want to leave, everything changes. Right?
Exactly.
And the possibility is there from the perspective of the salary we offer. And the fact that, given how good he is, there will not be shortage of clubs interested in signing him. And we're already dealing with the Saudi news, whether rumor or not, whether rumors or not. I think it's something to pay attention to. But go ahead, what you were saying.
They'll try. Obviously, they'll try. Ronaldo tweeted that out, saying that, so they'll probably try. But
who tweeted that?
It's up to the player, really.
Okay.
It's all up to the player. The club's not selling him. And if we were to sell him, just say he says, "Okay, I'm tempted. It's generational wealth. I want to go, blah, blah, blah." Well, we're going to ask a world record fee for him, basically. He's not going for cheap.
Absolutely.
So, I honestly don't think he would go there. I think he's a very committed type of guy. His attitude, he's going to want to stay. He's not going to, he started this project.
That is you assuming that that's the case. You don't know.
Yeah, look, I'm just going from the way he's talked, interviews, stuff he's said, stuff he's posted. He seems that type of character to me. So he started here with the project, and I think he'll want to be here to win a little bit more with the project. And then maybe he might leave, like you said, maybe in a couple of years when his contract runs down and there's a year left on his contract. Or maybe then he might consider that. I don't see that happening now. And if it does happen now, well, you can't really blame him. Depends how much they come. If they come and offer him 500,000 or 600,000 K a week, maybe he might be tempted, but I can guarantee you now, Chelsea will ask for some people are saying 70
Certainly,
million, 80 million, 100. No, no, no.
certainly.
Chelsea's going to ask way more than that for a player of his caliber.
Well,
Pretty
you can
much
say one of our most important players,
one of
really.
our most important players, and probably the best left back in the world at the moment. After
He,
what he, after that Club World Cup final,
I mean, I'd say arguably the best. He did come across.
exactly.
He
Mendes
did come
was not
across the
very poor in
supposed.
that
He did
game,
come
so
across the supposed best in the world, and he did better than him on the day. But go ahead.
correct. So Chelsea will ask for a world record fee for him, most likely 120, 150 maybe. They're not shy. Chelsea will ask for, and there's also that little bit that that Saudi tax. If they want that player, well, they're going to have to pay quite a little bit more than the European teams to get him if they really want him. Um, so yeah, but I don't see it happening, to be honest. I think he will stay. Like you said, it could happen in a year or 2 years, maybe time, maybe Real Madrid, Barcelona, etc., or again to the Saudis. But I don't see him going
I don't
now.
think the risk coming for him now because they know they know he's one of our most important players and how probably we value him a lot. And they've actually by now they know how our current owners operate. They're not going to risk coming now. It'd be in 2 years' time when you can say he doesn't have that much left on his current contract.
No, I wouldn't say that, coach. I think they're pretty ambitious. I don't think that they can. Well, look, we have a great relationship with them, and that's probably why as well. They would ask the question, like you said, the player has to be tempted, and he has to give
More
a
importantly.
little okay.
Mhm.
Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. But they're not shy. They're ambitious. They will ask if they need to ask. There's nothing wrong in asking, and they're a good relationship. They're probably allowed to do that with Chelsea because they were on pretty good terms with them. So yeah, look, I don't see it happening. And if it does, it will have to be probably for a world record fee, to be honest. Otherwise, it won't happen. So if it
Definitely
does
world
happen,
record fee.
sorry?
But let's say that's definitely world record fee, especially if it happens now.
Exactly. If it
Yeah.
happens now, it will have to be something really, really special. It has to be, I reckon, people are saying 70. I'm like, no, it can't be 70 million. That's peanuts for a player like him. There's no one else in the world like Cucurella, that what he does and the way he plays. There's no one else in that position at the moment. So yeah, I think you're looking at that world sort of, Premier League record 120 plus, maybe even 150. I wouldn't be surprised Chelsea will slap that on him for the Saudis. So, but yeah, I don't think we need to
Mhm.
talk about that because it's just a little rumor that Ronaldo said, he wouldn't mind having him. So, uh,
Yeah,
nothing
just
there at the
I mean,
moment.
truthfully, just rumors at the moment. That's what we're hearing is something that's common when you play well.
Of
Rumors will
course.
emerge suggesting that clubs are interested in signing you. And even at that, I don't think the club will look to sell him now. Yeah, and you did talk about the relationship we have with the Saudi SF, what's it called again? Saudi football. Is it SFL? There's something, three letter, some term for it. But Haston, my point is, I don't think they'd be saying that publicly if
No.
they're interested in signing him because I think that will bring about a friction in the relationship, which I don't think they'd want. We're only talking about it because, yeah, we saw that. But at the moment, the truth remains, I think it's absolute nonsense. Come on now, guys. We can now replace the entire team just in one summer. We understand that. We're just addressing what's out there. Maresca cannot be having too many changes. We know the owners probably won't say Cucurella now, but the fact remains is one of those. He isn't on the heavily incentivized contract, which presents some measure of issue. How the club ends up dealing with it, I don't know, but we will cross that bridge
Still 175,
once.
coach. So he's very
Yeah,
highly
exactly.
paid. Yeah.
So we will cross that bridge once to get there. I would want him to stay. I retire at Chelsea. Do I think it's possible? Very possible. Do I think the possibility is there that that doesn't happen? Oh yeah. Media
Good. You
just
want to hear my take on
yeah,
this?
yeah. 1 second. Yeah, the media just wanted to sell the entire Chelsea squad just to have a new disgusting news about Chelsea. I suppose they try now. Chelsea are world champions. I mean, as I've said, this sort of news is very common with good players, but it has led to us discussing something more important. But go ahead, something important also about his current contract. Go ahead, Bobby.
Fantasy Island. This is another load of
Mm-hmm.
SHIT that people are just putting out there. Who the hell is Ronaldo to start picking and choosing who he wants from the Chelsea playing staff at Al-Nassr? Oh, give me a break. People
Bobby,
come out with some
he's in charge there. He
absolute
just signed a
crap.
new contract. He's very ambitious and he wants the best player because he wants to win
BS.
before he retires. He wants to win that
Let's hear
that
Bobby.
money.
This is fantasy island completely. We got to get off this train. I mean, when I say get off this train, it's good to discuss it, but it's nonsense. I would sit here and I will tell you that this time next summer, we'll be talking about what Cucurella has done at Chelsea. There is no way on this planet that he's going anywhere. This is just nonsense. And there is no way that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to start telling Chelsea whose players he wants from Chelsea's team. Oh, give me a break. People are just on some cloud that I don't understand. What do you think this is? Oh, you think Chelsea's here to just start uh,
Did
fund,
we lose him?
strengthen, and do
Okay.
whatever they like. We have our ambitions, we have our plans. We're not here to dismantle the Chelsea's team just to suit Cristiano Cristiano Ronaldo. And oh, it's laughable. It's laughable. He's got 3 years left of contract. He's on 175K a week. It's not
So he's
peanuts.
actually one of the top paid, right?
He is.
Okay.
He
He's
is, yeah.
27 years old. This is a guy that I feel is a fit boy. He's the kind of player that will keep going till he's about, I would say, early 30s, 32, maybe even 33, before he starts losing any form. He's not a jumper. He's not a space hopper. Cucurella is not that kind of guy that will jump from one place to the other. And mind you, not everybody accepts the Saudis. Everybody that thought Osimhen was going to do it, and he turned them down. What's that Man United midfielder? But Bruno Fernandes was supposed to go there. He turned them down. Not everybody goes there. Not everybody's motivated by all those many zeros behind their wage packet. This is me. It's a joke. It really is a joke.
Here's still something I want to ask you, Bobby.
I'm signing in Dubai, Bobby. I'm coming here. Sorry.
Bobby, let me say this quickly. Saudi Arabia aside, um, I think the possibility of returning to his boyhood club Barcelona or any club in Spain that will pay him, you could say increase his salary at least by 50% or 100%, and I think that would be a very attractive what's the language I'm looking for, offer for him, really,
Coach,
at his
why
age.
why are we always talking about how Chelsea players
No,
are
no,
going to go to
it doesn't change anything, Bobby. If even if we talk
even
about it from
even
now to
then
tomorrow, if the club
even
wants to
then
keep him, they will keep him.
even
But we need to
even
be
then
objective here. It's a
we
possibility.
we've had we've had plenty Spanish boys with us. One of our greatest captains, Cesar Azpilicueta, was coveted by some Spanish sides. He never went anywhere until
Should
he
I
was
break down the
over the
question
hill.
again so you get my point, Bobby? I think this case is different.
What case is different?
Let me break it down. He is not on the heavily incentivized contract, is he? If
No.
he
No, he's not.
is, if he is, then I say my question is useless. He's not. In a year's time, or maybe 2 years' time, I'm going to say this again. We're just having a conversation. No, I know you don't take anything personal on the panel here. Listen, and again, if the opportunity comes to go back to Barcelona, even Real Madrid, and they can give him a 50% salary increase, I think he'd take it. And do I think Chelsea will make an exception and say, okay, we'll give you 50% salary increase or 100% salary increase, and it still be one of those that aren't heavily incentivized? You're creating a problem. Let's be honest. You cannot give him a pay rise without him accepting the sort of contract construct maybe that every other player, especially our new signings, are on. and make an exception and give him something different, you're creating a serious problem. And I don't think the club would do that. Let's be honest there. That's why that's the perspective I'm seeing it from. I'm not saying I'm quite sure Chelsea would want to keep him. I'm quite sure it'd be stupid for them not to want to keep him. And I'm quite sure probably they know they have a problem here. He's one of our best players and he's not on our new contract format.
Which can change, coach.
Yeah, which can change. Which tomorrow he may well say, you know what, I love this club so much. Yes, I'll do that because I believe in our ability to continue achieving great things, and I'll be earning again as much money as I want. We don't know. So we just say, Mike, what I want to hear from you, how do you think we can navigate? Because it's a problem. It's a problem. Not you can say not. I don't know how else to phrase it, but it's still a problem because yeah, you have to give him a pay rise to keep him beyond the length of his current contract. If you don't want to, if you can, if he doesn't want to accept the heavily incentivized contract, then if you make an exception, you have to keep that going. You get my point?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
every every player ultimately has, creates their own contract with a club. I've been through the period of time where we even had John Terry. Somebody was trying, Man City was trying to tempt him with money. There's a certain number of zeros you have at the end of your wages that adding more to it, to the more football conscious person, it doesn't really matter. Someone like Cucurella with 3 years left of contract, at the end of the coming season, there will be a discussion that needs to be had. That's very true. How I see that happening is that the club might extend it by a further year and then use those last
That's an
2
interesting
years.
aspect you just mentioned. Go ahead.
Well, that's what they always do, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Use
because he'll be
those last.
30. They won't want to give him any longer, over 32 months. It's usually a year or two max, yeah.
Yeah, and then
And which could lead to him. He might want again. Chances
use
are he would want a long contract, which has led to us losing some players wanting a
well,
longer contract, and we offering a shorter contract. But
I
go ahead, Bobby.
I honestly don't see Cucurella as that guy. I really can see a situation where he takes an extra year extension, and then slowly, if he's going to move his family somewhere, if he's going to move somewhere else, slowly start to do that, just like Cesar Azpilicueta did.
Man,
Someone like
Cesar is different. Oh gosh.
someone like Cucurella is the kind of player that the club will very happily see run down his entire contract,
Mm.
especially if during his tenure the club achieves the success we hope to achieve. Cucurella is the kind of person that just walks into Chelsea folklore. He's that sort of ilk. So with the success will come that that type of longevity. Another aspect to it is that with the success will fit him into the wage structure anyway. Because if the players keep like qualifying for Champions Leagues, winning trophies, maybe win a Premier League along the way, all their income would have increased up or pretty close to where Cucurella is now anyway. A lot of the higher earners within that system are not far off, vis-a-vis the people like Caicedo, vis-a-vis the
But the
people
main
like
factor remains, Bobby.
what factor? What are you
The
talking about?
factor that the increase in salary will only be driven by achievement. It remains in
Well,
the contract.
it's
It's embedded there. But go ahead.
well. I mean, every Chelsea player has that pressure. You're at Chelsea Football Club, not Bogpool Friday. You're here to succeed, and they know that. The pressure is on them. Last season, the pressure was on them to get Champions League football, and that's not going to change. And with that will come your incremental payments within your wage structure, which, as I've said, for the higher income bracket, vis-a-vis your Caicedos and so on will cross that 175k anyway. And it would be quite easy with a 1 year extension to slot him into that. Now, you're saying that, okay, let me take your premise and say um, Barcelona or Real Madrid may decide to offer him, well, more so Real Madrid than Barcelona. They don't really have the money, but may decide to offer him twice the income. Maybe.
And let's also add to that that he may decide to just go there and not asking too much money. A lot of players have been doing that.
No, there's no way he's going there not asking too
Okay,
much
but
money.
go ahead.
That's not happening. So maybe they do that. But then the decision then becomes where the club negotiate with him, where the club speak to him. You have to understand that Cucurella is very, very much at home at Chelsea. He's very, very much a part of the structure. He's very, very much a part of what's going on. And sometimes these players, they value their legacy. They value what they're building. And they're quite content with what they're earning. It's not everybody that wants to break the bank. It's not
Hmm.
everybody that, and the perfect example was that I sat on this platform with you and you were saying, "Oh, Osimhen, he's your countryman. They like money. He's going to go for the bag. He's going to," and he did the exact opposite.
No, it's still the bag
You
because
still
we
got the
cannot.
bag,
It's
but
still
it's
the
not
bag.
very
More
big.
importantly, my point was that
He didn't
money
take
is
the
the
Saudi
reason
bag.
why he's not coming to Chelsea, and he's not going to take a pay cut to join Chelsea. That was my main point. I thought he was going to be Saudi, but here's something: Galatasaray are actually paying him something close to Saudi, well, something not far, not doesn't differ that much from how much the Saudis were going to pay him. And I think in Europe, he still likes to maintain the sort of lifestyle. In Turkey, to be specific, he likes to leave. So, but
Well,
just to correct the point there. But go ahead, Bobby.
the point I'm making is that definitely this summer out. Next summer, wow, you're gonna have to really go to tempt someone like
Cucurella.
Cucurella away from Chelsea, especially if we're successful. If we continue with the success, it makes it even harder to pull him away.
That's very correct. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's all I need to say about that.
Yeah, Bobby. Let me ask you this: we're all humans, and you and I think one of the things we let people know here every time we discuss such topic is that it's business for all parties involved. Business for the club, business for the players. Loyalty is a different thing altogether. It
No,
can, yeah.
to
If
some
you were
extent,
Cucurella,
it does play a part.
it does,
Coach.
but it's a different thing
Then
altogether.
they're not all out to say
No,
players want
I mean,
stability. They want their legacy. It's all
but
part of
there's
them.
only so much it can do for you. Gallagher could have stayed. He
No,
could have stayed.
Gallagher was a different
No,
thing.
no,
I think the club
there's
really
no
wanted to
difference
sell him.
there. Loyalty, you could argue, was the reason why he was hesitant to leave. Was trying, he had to consider all the factors, such as playing time, such as he could say how much we're offering him and how much he's going to be earning if he joins Atletico Madrid. Things like that. The same thing with Mason Mount, but in his case, you could argue he was never Chelsea through and through. My point is, there's so much. Again, loyalty can only carry you to a certain length. More importantly, football is what these guys do for a living. That's how they put food on the table. That's not to say Cesar Azpilicueta leaving Chelsea doesn't mean he hates Chelsea. He could have stayed a lot more, and I think the club wanted him to stay a lot more because we needed his leadership. But he felt like, you know what, that's it for
No,
me.
he left at the time he should leave.
No,
That's for
no, I'm just mentioning something. Loyalty could have led to him retiring at Chelsea. But my point is, this it can it can only carry you to a certain measure. At one point, other things trumps loyalty. Irrespective, sometimes even in real life, there's irrespective of how much you love someone. Sometimes, for some other reason, you just have to let go. That's my point. I'm not saying Cucurella loves Chelsea. That's our belief. That's the way we see it, right?
Yeah, loyalty is very rare in today's game.
Exactly.
Extremely rare.
And it's business for all parties involved. And that's something you and I, Bobby, you and I, and Dante, we've always told people, irrespective of how you see it, football, again, it's business for all parties involved. We
Yeah, especially when Al-Nassr come calling and they give you 600K a week tax free. Yes, that's a big difference. Yeah.
So well, I'm not saying I get your point, Bobby. Chances are he'd say, you know what, bring on that heavily incentivized contract, and I'm happy to do it because yeah, you know what, we're looking good, and I think we'll be achieving a lot. Chances are Barcelona comes in or Madrid. We don't know what's going to happen. We're just trying to be as objective as possible. Chances are Barcelona comes in and says we can give you 250, or you can give you even how much Chelsea are giving you right now, but we can. It's not going to be incentivized, and because Spain is home, chances are that be enough to convince him to go home.
Yeah, not this year. They have no
No,
money to
no,
give
not
out.
this. It's not going to be this year. I think we still have time. That even if we
I'm not
get one.
worried about the Spanish team's coach. Spanish team's nothing to worry about.
I know,
Not
but
not
we
in the
just
next
have.
year or two.
You get my point. You get where I was going with that, right? It happens, and as a product of La Masia, is that how you pronounce it? Chances are he's harboring the dream of getting to represent them at senior level, and wouldn't ask for too much to just do it. So we. That's why I enjoy our conversation here, and that's why I hope I never agree with Bobby anytime. All right, Bobby. I don't know if you were still
Well,
talking. I just
I've,
wanted to add to that, but go ahead.
I've said my piece. There's not really much else to say at this
No.
point in time. Everything else is just fantasy island.
True.
For now,
Dust
Um,
yes.
rumors.
and
Dust rumors.
even looking further afield, it's still fantasy island. Let's get through the season first
Hmm.
and see what happens. I think of things in an entirely different way, and I've been well. Football hasn't always been like this, but I have been following football a long, 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 long time. You get a feeling of the pulse of a lot of the people in that industry,
Hmm.
and you'll find that after a while, you know, yes, the financing is important, but you find after a while people like Bruno Fernandes and so on turn down, even though they were in a sinking Manchester United ship, turn down these big money moves to Saudi, is your legacy really does matter when you get to a certain age, because football is indeed a short career, but sometimes your legacy helps you make another career. There's so many other long-term interests involved. However, having said that, that doesn't invalidate your point. Your point is valid, and it's a possibility. But right now, I would say it's dreaming to think
Yeah.
that that is on the
Here's
cards.
something you said, Bobby. I just learned something from what you said here. Sometimes legacy helps you build another career. Where
Oh
does
yeah,
that come in? For those of us that understand, for instance, if you leave the club in good terms, tomorrow there might be a position we say that guy played for us and the way he served us, we love him. We want him back to come and be our sporting director.
exactly. Like
If you leave,
people
yeah,
like
exactly.
Fabregas, all
Yeah.
that.
So I'm just happy, Bobby. You see, I pay attention. But if you leave on bad terms, somebody suggests you the hierarchy will say, don't bring him. Even the fans will start revolting. Look at how the fans are calling for Thiago Silva to become a Chelsea manager someday. The
Exactly.
same thing,
Football's a
John Terry.
very
Yeah, go ahead.
it's a very tribal industry. It's a very tribal culture, and players are very much aware of that.
Hmm.
It takes a lot of guts for players to do certain things, to jump from certain clubs to certain clubs, and those that do it, certainly they do it for the money, but if you look at it, it affects their legacy. It affects
In so many ways, yeah.
their their trade after the game. I pick on people like Luis Figo, who went from Barca to Real Madrid. After his playing days, what's he done? Nothing. Who else? Saul Campbell went from
I don't think
Spurs
he
to
needed to do much,
Arsenal.
Bobby. He was very, very well paid and compensated.
Well, that has to be the trade-off.
And there was no Saudi
But
back then. If there was,
well, anyway,
Go ahead, Bobby.
I've made well. That has to be the trade-off.
Yeah.
The money would have to be the trade-off, but sometimes in life, to be able to still have some sort of career after you've left a career is very helpful. Look at Mikel. Mikel, because of his service to Chelsea, has walked into the podcasting business, and although he's
And
more
he's able to call upon his former colleagues, managers, and they all answer
exactly,
him.
exactly, they all answer him. He walks into Stamford Bridge with impunity, sits in the director's box. There's just something that legacy gives you in this tribal industry that probably is second to none. However, some people would not regard that and they would go for immediate earnings, especially if there are ridiculous earnings like you can get in Saudi Arabia. But I ask the question, how many of these, what I would call grade A European players, opt to go there at that age? It's very few.
All right, Dante, anything else you want to say before we give the microphone to those in the chat and then
no,
come
we
back
move
to
on. I
address?
think that we've had enough of that one for now.
You're dodging the fight?
No, I'm not fighting. I'm just saying
Right.
we've talked about it
No,
a
but
while. So
honestly, I like again that last the aspect of you could say legacy creates a path for you, how you can also for a new career. Actually, I think that's a delicious coming from Bobby.
these days a little bit different. Back in the day more, but these days they weren't earning as much. These days the players are on crazy wages and crazy money. They have so much money outside of
Some
football.
of them don't care.
Yeah, they don't really care about that. Well, while you're, other players like
Well,
Jamie
you
Carragher
say
and all
that,
those ones,
you say
well, they
that,
need
but
to have a career after maybe.
you say that, but if they didn't care, half the Premier League that the Saudi League has been trying to scout would be there right now. A lot of players still say no
Have you
all
seen
over
the
Europe.
list, Bobby? Have you seen what every single team? I've only noticed it when I've been here. The list, the players they have on there, you'll be very surprised,
Yeah, there are
extremely
players
surprised how many they have.
that are over the hill as far as the
No,
European
no,
game
no,
is
no,
concerned.
Bobby, no. Some players in their primes, 27, 28, 29, they're not over the hill. They're in their primes. And young players now too. Each team, this is the new incentive that they're organizing right now. This is the new push. Youth. They're gonna go for youth as well, for
You mean the
talented young players
Saudis?
in the world.
You mean the
Yeah, people.
Saudis?
He's
Yeah,
referring to the likes
Yeah,
of
that
like
changed
John
since last
Duran.
season. Go ahead, Bobby.
He's referring to the likes of like John Duran, but I don't think there are that many. Not yet, anyway. Coming from Europe, you go to a lot of these
Yeah,
grade
Bobby, you
A.
need to go check.
check their list, Bobby. You see some of these teams you haven't even heard
You need
of.
to go check. They've changed that since last season. I think last transfer window, it's been a lot of young players and actually older players.
Yeah, and they've bought some of the best talent from South America.
Really need to go check. You really need to go check.
I was very
But
surprised at some of the list, especially this new club that form the club at the moment, the new one where Retegui went and some of the other players went from Atalanta, the striker, for 80 million wherever. He's only 24 years old. He scored the most goals in Serie A, won the Golden Boot in the Serie A, and he's now here for a team you've never heard of. And if you check their list, there's some really players that I forgot about, and now I know where they
then,
are.
yeah, exactly. Then when you see them come on for them, then you go, oh, wait. When did he join? There was one
Exactly.
midfielder. Was it for Lazio? We were looking at. I think he went to Saudi actually, and even though Man City wanted him,
Yeah, Milinkovic Savic. Yeah.
Milenkovic Savic, yeah. So that was
26.
when they started looking at younger players. They don't even. They're actually so much interested in players that are on the verge of retiring and all that.
No, they've stopped that.
Mhm.
They're investing serious money in the youth. Like I said, that's what I've seen here. They're really going for players, and they've signed some of the top talent from South America. A lot of young players.
We
You don't know
sold
them?
one to them.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's changed a little bit. So a lot more people are coming. Definitely, a lot more. Like I said, go look at some of those lists of some of those clubs you've never heard of in Saudi Arabia. Look at the lists. There's basically on each of those lists, there's probably 10 internationals at from 25, 24 to like 29, 30 year olds. It's
And
crazy.
here's the thing. players aren't concerned about missing out on international, being part of their again of their national teams, because yeah, national teams select them too.
They still do, correct.
They
Like
still do.
Joao
So
Felix, he's
I
gonna
think,
go there.
yeah, I
It's
think
not
that
gonna
changed
happen.
everything.
Yeah,
That changed. You could argue reduced the fear players face by going to, you could say, the so-called inferior football in a nation or something like, or league. Because yeah, international coaches do pick them. How are they? And you could argue they've laid the foundation, and the quality of the league has improved significantly. Did you watch them? Was it, who was that? The Koulibaly was his own club versus was it versus Man City or who?
Al Hilal, yeah.
Yeah, was it versus Man City?
Yes.
They were the better side by far, and
Yeah.
there were other games they played. The quality. Some European teams, I'm gonna even withstand them for the first 45 minutes. They will smoke them alive.
Yeah, and the starting 11 are all internationals, basically, all top players. Yep.
All of them. So I think it was a gradual process, and they knew exactly what they were doing. They signed the biggest names first of all, and we're pushing to sign even a young, big names, even for a month. It doesn't. Here's what they do. They don't care
And I'm
giving
still
you a year
around. I just need
contract.
to sort something.
Sorry.
I'm still around. I just need to sort something
Oh, okay,
quickly.
okay.
No
So
problem.
they knew exactly what they're doing, and I think they've laid a good foundation now. Young players, in most cases, don't hesitate going there. All right, what are the updates you were for fair play sanctions? I think it's not what's the language I'm looking for? Uh, Not dynamic. That's a language. I think it doesn't change. It's the same thing. We have an agreement. We have to pay certain amount. I think 26 million pounds or so, or 60 million in total. I don't know how much in
It's
total
already
that
been
we have
paid,
to
though.
pay.
A lot of it's already been paid, and it's on payment plans. Some of the
Yeah,
others.
exactly. So it's the agreement is there. The issue is solved. No other sanctions will follow or punishment will follow. Okay. We have Chelsea have no intention of selling Cucurella. Yes, we know that. The question is, what if the player says he wants to go? And if you've been paying attention, once that happens, that's it. I hope it doesn't happen because I love him. The club values him as key defensive asset. Duh. Why wouldn't they? All right, Coach Basa Abrook, where would they get the money? They don't necessarily have to have the money. Nico Williams nearly joined them until Bilbao started complaining to their football association. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dante.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look, they have a
Exactly.
bit of money always for these type of players, but they don't have enough for Cucurella. That was a different. That'll probably be not even half of what we would ask for Cucurella. So yeah, look, not this year. If they don't
No,
buy anyone
they're
next
not
year,
going to be
maybe
able to
yes.
sign him. I think it's going to be really difficult, really. But go ahead with what you were saying. I
Yeah,
apologize
look,
for
those
cutting you
teams
off.
don't have the money to spend. They're not going to spend 120 because I think I'm pretty positive we'll ask for over 120 EPL record. I think 125 plus will ask for Cucurella if that happens. So they can't put that much money anymore towards one player. Not this season, probably not the next, unless they only buy him and no one else, maybe. But otherwise, no. Saudi's the only threat because they can offer 600K a week, tax free, and I can tell you the lifestyle here is
And because
pretty
he's one of
good.
the best.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm not worried about the Spanish teams to be honest. Not in the next maybe in 2 years' time. If he doesn't renew his contract, maybe then. But otherwise, I'm not too worried about the Spanish teams at the moment because they won't afford him that much. They won't pay that much. I doubt it.
And the Ronaldo news, I think we can all agree, absolute horse dunk at the moment.
Yeah, look, Ronaldo just said something. I think that he's interested in Cucurella, but that's just they took it out of context a bit too much. But of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? What I wanted to add earlier, he's signed a new deal with Al-Nassr for a reason, an extra 2 years. He hasn't won here yet with them. He wants to win. Felix is coming. He's going to try to attract some very big players to come because he wants to win at all costs. And the Saudis, he's like a god here. They back him. He basically has control of the club, basically. He can do what he wants.
Mhm. All right. So here's just quickly here. Let me catch up with what we have. in a year or two, Cucurella needs to leave the Premier League. Wow. Mike and Neil, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, Coach. He's on a high wage. I remember we signed him in our days of us signing Raheem, Sterling, and Koulibaly. Then the salary we offered to play at the time not heavily incentivized. Yep, we did discuss that at length. For key players with long contracts are sealed, Chelsea should put 1 billion as a release clause. This is how Barcelona act. Pedri has a 1 billion in his release clause, but if he wants to leave, I think that changes everything.
Correct.
Yeah. If he's tired of playing for Barcelona and decides he wants to leave, that's it. The 1 billion is basically useless, in my opinion. I'm quite sure they didn't sign a 1,000-year contract. Chelsea hierarchy might not want to keep him, but he has become one of the best players in the world. Before they sell Cucurella, they will have to sell players like Reece James. Coach, what's your argument? My argument is this. Basically the same thing you're saying. But the difference is that Houston, we're just speculating. Right now, he's not going anywhere. I don't think. And just like Dante, you heard him say a minute ago. So the Spanish clubs cannot afford him right now. Even Real Madrid cannot afford him. If you come, I think Chelsea will say 150 plus million, and I don't think they'd pay that for him. I'm just saying from his perspective. In about a year or two, I did say that clearly. In about a year or two, when he'd have a lot less left on his current contract, and he'd be looking at to get a pay rise, and probably whether he'd be willing to sign a new contract on the version of contract. You could say the version of contract we offer to our new signings, the heavily incentivized contract, because at the time, I don't see a world where he wouldn't have plenty of options on the table to choose from, which you could argue some of them would be willing to offer him nearly twice as much as how much we're paying him, or maybe 50% more. So that makes it difficult. And you cannot say you just, except maybe an extension, just like Bobby mentioned, I don't think would present much of an issue. But if you make an exception, have him sign a new long-term contract, and it's not on the heavily incentivized version of the sort of contract we offer to new signings, you're creating a problem. If that makes sense. So that's how we discussed it, and there isn't any reason to be concerned right now. There's still a long way to go, But yeah, Stab is saying Barca are on the strict La Liga FFP restrictions regarding salary total. It's why they had to sell trenches of TV and media rights. And at some point, we heard something to the effect of them renting out Bernabeu. No, renting out their stadium. What's your stadium name again? Am I mixing things up here?
New Camp.
New Camp for weddings, to make money. But that's, by the way, Chelsea needed to keep winning. They will be able to retain any player. I mean, we just earned 100 million for winning a summer tournament, which one team has done that. We just need to keep winning. Yeah, it's a result-driven business. The more you win, the more money you make. And a lot of us are learning that. Loyalty is not everybody's thing these days, unfortunately. Okay, Gallagher was begged to go for some reason. Was he really begged to go? No, I don't think so, but that may well be the case, but I don't know. Sunday Juliet, thank you for joining the conversation. I'm just tuning in. Yeah, I think you've heard everything we talked about. Gallagher was sent to the bomb squad and forced out for the 100% academy profit. Mount verbally agreed a deal before going to Qatar. Enter Winstanley. The offer was revoked 1 year only. Okay. I don't know about that, and I don't believe it. I rather money than legacy. The earning potential is higher than anything post-career. It depends on who you ask. To me, again, I'll be as loyal as I can, but life has to improve at the same time. I have to also take care of other things. I'll be looking out for myself, and moving on from what you have to offer doesn't mean I'm no longer loyal to you. No, I still, even if I still like you, even if I still like the company that again I work for, but I get a better option that will pay me more somewhere. That doesn't mean I'm leaving the current company because I hate them. Because I believe him because I want to earn more, because I have people to take care of, if that makes sense. But Jay, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. A lot of footballers are educated, contrary to popular belief, and do stuff outside of the public eye. I agree. These days, things have changed. It depends on where you could say where everything starts for you. Like if you start like in advanced countries or developed countries like UK, they have a program that again, um, as you grow as a footballer, part of your growth will be a formal education plus a football and education, if that makes sense. Let's see. Big up to you too, Rich Money Makers. Nice to see you. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're coping with your situation well. Sorry that I haven't reached out to see how you're doing. We're not selling Marc Cucurella to the Saudis. The sources are not reliable. Marc Cucurella is untouchable. According to my trusted sources, we are bringing a Hato for cover to learn from Marc Cucurella. All right, thank you for that. We appreciate that. I sent you Ben Jacobs report. Win Stanley in Mount. It seems newer fans prefer to attack players. Gallagher was offered a 2-year. I don't think anybody can. I don't think anybody has attacked him today. I think if anything, people voiced their opinions and haven't said it was a player's source or something like that. Gallagher was offered a 2-year, whereas others were getting 5, 6, 7 years, etc. You love coffee and smell it. You and your trouble again, but that's by the way. What else do you have here? The players that say no have been brainwashed. Have been brainwashed to value legacy. I mean, okay, and I'm not sure what to say to that. All right, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. A big up to you, Ty. I do hope you're doing well. Real Gems, thank you. Real Gems, thank you for joining us. Ty, big up to you too. I do hope you're doing well. Why are you discussing Cucurella? I'm sure if you've been paying attention by now, you'd have the answer to that question. Ayodeji, Odum Baku, nice to see you, Egbon, Ekubatu, Ekara, whatever, whichever one you prefer. Nice to see you here. I do hope you're doing well. I don't want to even start reading the comments under this report here. And who is actually JF Felix Diaz? Some unknown source. But of course, big accounts shared that. All right, let's see. This year, Jorrel Hato. It turns out his first name is pronounced Jorrel. Chelsea's first bid for Jorrel Hato is 40 million, but Ajax want 55 to 60 million euros. The expectation is that both clubs will reach an agreement somewhere in the middle. It is said that 50 million is also a fantastic amount. Okay, sometimes if you pay attention to some of these reports, you know it's absolute nonsense. For instance, the second paragraph reads, the expectation is that both clubs will reach an agreement somewhere in the middle. Okay. It is said that 50 million is also a fantastic amount. Who told you that? Would the selling club tell you that a certain amount will be okay with them? Then you probably just go in with a little less of that, you could say, of the mentioned amount. It just doesn't make sense in so many ways. But that's, by the way, a subsequent report on Hato here. This says breaking news. Jorrel Hato has his sight set on a move to Chelsea and doesn't want to play for Ajax in the Como Cup final tonight. He's probably going to be left out of the lineup just like they did the last time they played. And this from the transfer guru himself, Fabrizio Romano, reads Jorrel Hato has been clear with Ajax. He only wants a Chelsea. And a few days ago, one journalist did report he actually rejected Real Madrid. So the fact that the player wants to come to us, I think, makes the whole thing, you could say, less difficult for us. It will never easy to sign a player, irrespective of what anybody think, because there are negotiations involved. The selling club values the player at a certain amount, and the buying club also values the player at a differing amount and wouldn't want to overpay. But people think it's just you go there, drop the amount, and you take the player. No, there are other aspects to discuss, image rights and all that. But Dante Hato to Chelsea, I think eventually will happen. And you could argue it's getting closer and closer. But let's hear you.
Yeah, look, it was pretty close. They're probably still discussing terms. Like you said, he's not training or playing with them. So
which
Yeah,
is a good
obviously
sign
more.
too, right?
Yeah, it could be a bit that obviously they're protecting their asset as well. You don't want him to get injured because then you're not selling him. So yeah, that just tells you he's pretty close to moving somewhere. Now that's probably us. You never know, might be, but I think pretty much 95% it's us. So he is a Chelsea fan growing up as well. So he's got that on his timeline in his social media. So yeah, look, I think putting those pieces together, he's definitely going to be moving to us. I think we're just ironing out details, exactly how much, contract terms, payment, a lot of stuff that needs to get done. But I think this will definitely get done. I'm pretty confident this one will get done. And yeah, we need him. We definitely need him, especially for what we talked about earlier. Great understudy to Cucurella, and if Cucurella somehow or something happens and he leaves in a couple of years, well then you would have had 2 years playing with Cucurella and learning from Cucurella.
Understudy, let's be clear here, doesn't mean he comes in and will always sit on the bench while Cucurella
Right.
starts. And given the way the manager uses Cucurella, chances are he's going to be playing a lot more actually.
Yeah, and left centre back. Don't forget, he might even play centre back quite a bit as well. So, yeah, look, but it's good someone to learn, and he can actually see Cucurella day in day out the way he trains. Because let's not forget, he's got experience, but he's still 19. He's still a young kid. So
But
that'll be
unfortunately, we use age and experience interchangeably, and
yeah,
sometimes leading to us not paying attention to the amount of games the
correct.
player in question has played, which defines the experience.
Exactly, but yeah, still he's still young. He hasn't been outside of the Ajax system there, so it is a big change jumping to the Premier League at that age. It's a very big jump. So this way, there's not much pressure on him either, which is perfect. So yeah, I think it's a great signing. Like I said, he'll have some time to learn, adapt. At least he'll get a bit of time, and he can play centre back as well. That left centre back especially. So yeah, it's a great signing. Hopefully, it gets done already, and we get it going because yeah, we definitely need him.
We do need him really. Bobby, anything you want to add to the Jorrel Hato? Apparently, and I've heard the commentators pronounce it. His name is pronounced Jorrel, first name, and last name Hato. I think we did talk about that the other day, and staff explained, yeah, because it is Dutch. The J sounds differently. Uh, Go ahead, Bobby. Sounds different. Go ahead, Bobby.
Sorry, well, I just came back
Hato.
when I heard
Okay,
Hatter.
okay, I know probably it's late for you also. So Hato has been clear with Ajax. He only wants Chelsea. And a few days ago, somebody told us that he rejected Madrid. And this one also, Jorrel Hato has a sight set on a move to Chelsea and doesn't want to play for Ajax in the Como Cup. And according to staff, I think yeah, he was left out. Ajax lost 3-0. Yep, tonight. I didn't watch the game. So he doesn't want to play, so he was left out. To me, that's a sign. Just as you remember when we were told that Gittins was ill, that was why he was left out of the Dortmund lineup. I think probably this deal will happen before the Xavi Simons and Xavi Simons did. And Bobby, did you see the video I
Mm.
sent you? If you watch that, you would want to you would want Xavi Simons at Chelsea. But go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I'm frustrated by these two guys at this point. Yeah, he's been left out. That's true, and I've seen the rumors of that. But we're hearing the same thing. We've been hearing the same thing for over a week. Talks are advancing, and I don't know what the actual holdup is, but I think it's time to get it done. There's only about a week left before preseason resumes, and we don't want to be going into preseason faffing about over Xavi Simons and Jorrel Hato. We need to sort that. It's been a topic for a while. That's just my impatience, to be honest. But I feel a bit frustrated because you suddenly hear Bayern Munich wants Luis Diaz. Next minute, Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich. Here we go. Everybody else seems to just get it done, and ours
No, that
always
was
takes.
discussed for weeks, Bobby. That's not now, not straight away.
Yeah, but it was like anyway. I don't know. I don't. I just think I want to see this done now. We've been talking about it for a while. But that's just me. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's how I feel.
And yeah, I like it when you're a typical Chelsea fan, Bobby.
Well, I always have been,
No, no, no. We
but
all are, but I like that side of you. I think it helps with the conversation. And here's the thing. For me, I'm not concerned. You used to be the one to tell me negotiations are involved, and there will be back and forth. Um,
it's
Clubs
true.
values the selling club values the player at a certain a price. The buying club also values the player at a differing price. So that's why the back and forth, and there are image rights to talk about it, a whole lot of other stuff, and probably the selling club not in a hurry to finalize the sale of the player. If they sense that there's a possibility other clubs coming with a bigger offer, or maybe make it interesting, which will lead to them getting a lot more money from the sale of the player. So I mean,
But when
maybe.
a player tells you they want to go, and not only tells you they want to go, but tells you where they want to go to, I think your hands are tied. It's like the whole Victor Gyökeres thing. He was very clear he wanted to leave, and
And
he was
United
very
tried to
clear where he,
hijack it on two
well,
occasions.
he was very clear where he
Hmm.
wanted to go to. I think after a while it becomes a bit ridiculous of the club to take too much of a firm stance over these things. It's
You
free
mean the
trade,
selling club or the buying club?
the selling club. It becomes silly because the player always wins. Once the player tells you he wants to leave, and especially if he says where he wants to go to, it can only ever go one way. And my advice is just get it done. It's look at Newcastle. You have to respect them for it. Isak told them he wants to leave, although he's not exactly said where he wants to leave to, but they've left him out and they're looking at options. I think they may be talking to buyers, but they're trying to get his replacement immediately. So, in terms of Ajax and Leipzig, these players have said, look, we want to go. There's no point. Just get it done and move on for all
Yeah.
concerned.
Dante, do you have anything to add to that? Or should we move on?
No, look, it's these days the contracts, the clubs, they have so many little stipulations. They take a long time to do these contracts. Unfortunately, it's never happens overnight. Like Bobby saying to Luis Diaz, it's just a here we go though. It's not.
Stipulation is a salesman's language.
Yes, well, yes, I am a salesman, of course. Yeah, of course. Um,
Go ahead.
Yeah, look, it's just taking a bit of time. It was reported earlier the player wants the club. Like I said, he's already kind of posted a couple of things, some clues. It's going to happen. It's just taking a little bit longer. 'Cause first of all, Ajax did not want to sell the player. They were not looking to sell the player. He was not for sale. And the player, we inquired, and the player wanted to. So,
So that
yeah,
changed everything.
that changed everything. So now, obviously, they're trying to get a little bit more, and I think that's what's happening. So it'll get done. He will be here. Probably Simmons, him, they will be here before the preseason starts because that's definitely the plan. So there
August.
is time still. Yeah,
Preseason starts when? August 6th?
yeah, in a week,
A
like
week,
Bobby
a
said.
week on Monday.
You think
Yeah,
we'll be able to get it done before that date?
I think so. Yes, they will be announced. This is what they're working on. You'd think this is what they're working on, but yeah, I think all the paperwork will be done. Everything will be done, and then they'll be announced. Yeah, so it would have to be before preseason starts because there's no point otherwise. Like Bobby said, need to hurry up and do it. It starts in whatever it is, 8 9 days or whatever. So I think it will be done before that. I wouldn't be surprised that this week they'll be done midweek. Next couple of days, one of them will done, and then another one probably done by the end of the week. So yeah, that's what I think will happen. But like I said, he didn't want to go, so it's a bit more complicated. There wasn't look. They didn't put him on the market to sell him, so we kind of caught him off a bit. So that's why it's taking a little bit longer, I think.
Hmm. But I mean, um, even when Fabrizio talked about how um, Bayern inquired again about his
He didn't want to
availability.
go there. He didn't. This is the thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
This
So
my
go ahead.
my point where the club actually has no haggling room anymore.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
can't make it a bidders thing. The
And I think
player
that's
has
what's happening.
to,
They're trying to, but they
yeah.
don't have nothing. But they're probably trying to anyway.
Go ahead, Bobby. They're paying to the see.
It's
They
not going to
win.
work.
Go ahead. Sorry, Bobby. I
The,
apologize.
it's just the player himself has rejected those clubs that they were hoping will haggle. And the clubs, the clubs themselves. If you go for a player and the player says he doesn't want you, what, you're going to go with a gun and force him? The
Yeah.
clubs are going to back off. They'll be like,
Hmm.
okay, we don't want somebody that doesn't want us. We want somebody that at least wants us. And so the player always wins in that sort of situation. I gave the example of Gyökeres. It was very clear he wanted to go to Arsenal. Not everything is the sort of Mudryk situation where he was Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal. He was Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal because it was only Arsenal that was after him. But when somebody else came and showed him, another way, he switched. He thought, okay, this is better. But these players have had these options and they've stuck with Chelsea. And these clubs that are going for them, they have pride. They're not going to go and start pleading with a player that has clearly told you they want to go somewhere else. So Ajax and Leipzig, respectfully, need to get this sorted. To be fair to them, I think they are not as rigid. They have a price, but they're not giving the vibe that they're not willing to negotiate, for want of a better word.
Yeah, and which is I think the fact that they both want to join us and also alone, I think that makes a huge difference. Which is why other clubs they're waiting to see if it falls through, then they can pounce. But I don't think it falls through. I think we'll get the deals over the line. Two deals. Francis Obeng, thank you. I think we will sign him. A priority signing, in my opinion. Not in my. I think that's a fact, actually. Uh, we're
You're
lucky.
very keen on Xavi Simons, which is intriguing me because
Yeah.
I don't know the guy, but we've been doing this a long time
Mhm.
together, and we've sometimes you've picked people that I didn't fancy, and vice versa. Um, I can list them. KDH is a perfect example. In fact,
Yeah, I'm
kept
shocked, right?
telling me both of you here kept telling me, it's not that bad, and I wasn't having it because I watched him live, and I'm like, this guy is a bum. But you can be proved. I'm always happy to be proven wrong in these situations. Part of the reason I also want these guys in place, on a selfish point of view, on the fourth, is I'm going to watch those preseason games. I want to
Mhm.
see them, and that's where I run the rule as to what quality we've actually got. It's always good to see them in the flesh in the beginning. So yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued with Xavi Simons. I really am. The Premier League is a big boy league. There's no room. The kind of fan I am. I hate seeing my players get pushed around. However, if you're playing in a position where your technical skills and your artistry can get you out of jail, fine. If you're a Fabregas kind of player, but you still need the big boys around you to do your thing. Maybe he's that type. That's where my mind is going. If he's more, then kudos to you for your scouting skills.
All right, we'll see. But yeah, KDH, okay. A very good example, right? Um,
No, KDH has he's impressed me. I think what finally did his last few games, I started seeing something different. But what finally did it for me, the little things that a player would do that you realize, okay, there's somebody here. And that was in the Club World Cup. This guy came on and he played everywhere. He was asked to play on the left, he played on the left. He was asked to play on the right, he played on the right. He was asked to play down the middle, he played down the middle. And the goal he took for against Benfica, Now, people may say, "Oh gosh, that was an easy goal. He was put
It
through."
wasn't easy, yeah.
I beg to differ. He needed to beat that keeper, who wasn't a slouch, by the way. And the way he beat him, I said, "Okay, Mister KDH, you've arrived now,"
And
and that's
a
all
lot of
good.
Chelsea fans love him now. They don't want him gone.
Oh, me included. Me
And
included. I've
go ahead.
joined that rank and file. I've same with Thiago Silva when he was coming to Chelsea. I was, oh my gosh, my mind was all on Shevchenko. These people that were doing so well when they were younger, they come when they're all washed up to Stamford Bridge, and it was quite the opposite. Thiago came and showed his class. However, having said that, Koulibaly, I was 100% right on because that guy came, and the rest is history, to be honest. And we were very happy to see him leave.
Yeah. His KDH, he just seemed his start to life as a Chelsea player, uh, not quite what I expected it to be.
Oh, he
Probably
was awful.
I get it. He didn't do preseason with us, but even after that, he did come across as if the pressure of playing for Chelsea was more than he could handle at the time. But I think he's getting into his own, and I think he's more than just a squad player right now, and will get a chance to play because we have lots of games. That is if he stays. But
Exactly.
everything we've heard from you could say from the perspective of potential buyers, nothing have said that we're looking to sell him. Um, and
Yeah, he's one of those, isn't it? He's one of
yeah.
if you drop big money, he goes. But if you don't, he's not gonna go. Maresca likes him. The guy has fitted into the dressing room. I can imagine. I mean, I'm not there, but I can imagine him being one of those silent leaders. He doesn't look like somebody that isn't part of what's going on. You see what I'm saying? You look at
Mhm.
people like Joao Felix. They didn't look like they were part of
Their
what
body
was going
like
on.
their body. You guys in João Felix's case and Kunku, sometimes you could
Yeah,
sense it from their body language that yeah, they
they're outsiders.
yeah they're not happy. Exactly. Yeah, it's outsiders. I think that's a more fitting language to use there. Go ahead, Bobby.
But people like KDH, another one that you can really see he's part of the system. Tosin, he's very much a part of that dressing room.
A leader too.
Yeah, very, very, very much. People like that, they're on the same level as your likes of Enzo Fernandez. That's another huge person in the. Chelsea now have a team. That dressing room's different. It belongs to Enzo. It belongs to Caicedo. It certainly belongs to Cole Palmer. You find that people like KDH and Tosin, they're part of what's going on there, and it's not easy to take that. Of course, Cucurella, it's not easy to take that sort of influence out of your team.
Mhm. Yeah, Dante. Anything else you want to add to that, or should I just give the microphone to those in the chat?
No, he's right. I just actually came back to me. I remember watching João
He's
Felix.
right.
Yeah, I remember watching João Felix. He opened up like a YouTube channel, or I can't remember what it was, which one, and he was doing all stuff throughout London, posting stuff throughout London when he was there. But most of the time he was alone. There was no other teammates with him doing it. So it just came to mind when Bobby said that. So fit is very important, and that's why I said earlier, fit is very important. You kind of have to get along with the players really well as well, because if you don't, it doesn't matter how much talent you have or how good you are. Or what, if you don't fit with the dressing room and those players respect you a little bit at least, well then, yeah. So that just came to mind. I remember all the videos he was doing, it was all alone and not with other Chelsea players. So yeah, that just popped in my head just when I mentioned it.
Hmm. That's deep, really.
Yeah, you're right. And people may not like this, but love him or loathe him, another big boy in that dressing room is Rob Sanchez. Rob Sanchez, Levi
They
Colwell. You
love him
can
too. You
see,
can see, yeah.
yeah, you can see the people that we've now really well and truly walked into a new era. That whole aura that you would get with your Lampards, your Terrys, your Drogbas, your Ballacks, your you could see your Czechs, the people that owned the Chelsea dressing room back then. We've got a new set, and you can see it, which is what gives me a lot of hope. I'm thinking, wow, if this team, if they get this transfer window right, we've got to go into that new season. I wouldn't say brimming with optimism, but we should go in there fearing nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. Stav is saying here, despite Ajax being the biggest club with biggest crowds, uh, Dutch football doesn't have the finance of the EPL, so Ajax will try to maximize fees received. Yeah, that makes sense. You could argue leading to, you could say, the lengthy negotiations. Hi to you too, Mary Gilbert. Thank you for joining us. Mary Gilbert here says, are we going to buy Simons and Hato? That's the belief, and I think we can. For reasons we've explained here, both players want to join us and us alone. Yeah. Um, Hey, Blue Blood Manny, it's been like how long? 1,000 years. I'm not saying you're a vampire, but always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and hopefully your absence simply means that you've been busy. And if that's the case, we're happy for you. Bills don't pay themselves. So thank you for joining us. Once again, we need both. I think we're getting both. Mary, come down. Remember, I told you that the question is how soon. What's the update about the two players? Negotiations ongoing. Progress. So far, good progress so far, given the reports we've addressed. I like KDH. I don't mind keeping him, especially when we want to win at the Premier League. And I'm going to say this quickly, and I want us to talk about that, Bobby. Um, just quickly, but let me. I think I have two more items I need to get in the comment section. Let's see. They're all growing to become gangs. You could argue that's a more relatable language to some people. It's slang. I started the business. Thank you for having me back. No, thank you for joining us again. I hope the business goes well, brother. Never easy to start a business, but it shows you have an entrepreneurial spirit, and I hope it goes well for you. Dante, I wanted to talk about this quickly before we move on to the next item. It looks like the plan is to win everything we're involved in. No jokes. That's how I see it. If they can, I mean, people can play it down all I want, but I think the ambition is clear. But let's hear you, Dante.
Yeah, look, by what we want to sign in the players we want to sign, definitely the ambition is there to win. Of course, they got a very nice taste of it on their own soil. The owners in their own soil there. So yeah, that's definitely helped with the ambition a little tiny little bit more. There was already ambition there, but that just probably helped a little bit more. So yeah, look, we're going to be in every competition. I really do think we do. Maybe the Premier League, maybe not this year so much. I don't think that one's a little bit
But
different,
it's a
but
possibility.
it's a possibility. But that's probably the one the least, I think, because that's over a long period of time. And we saw some of being a young team, some difficulties. We'll see when that hard period comes back again, how they get through that. But I just think it might be just a little bit one step too far just to get to actually win the Premier League. But the year after that, 100%, I think we'll definitely be there. Even this year, like I said, it's still a possibility, but the league's probably for me the least. But FA Cup, maybe League Cup, not so much. FA Cup and Champions League, I can see us going very far in those because our team is very well set up and coached, especially for one-off games like that.
And
Yeah,
let's talk about something Bobby did talk about after we won the Conference League. Something to the effect of they've tasted blood.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's very
you could
right.
see how much they wanted the Club World Cup.
That's very right. Jose Mourinho said something which I
Sorry,
took
Dante,
very.
did I cut you off?
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no. It's good. I'm finished now. That's fine.
All right, go ahead, Bobby. I can cut him off. He's
I
nobody.
Cut
didn't.
me off, but it's fine.
So,
I'll accept it
no,
now. Yeah, it's fine.
Jose said something that was very important, and people thought he was disparaging the Club World Cup. He wasn't. Jose said that the inaugural competition that yeah, all the other teams wanted to win it, but it was very important for Chelsea. and people were trying to say, "Oh, but other people."
Misinterpreting it, right?
Exactly, they were thinking what he was saying, that it was only Chelsea that really wanted to win it. No, Jose knew that for that team to win such a competition, that is how you start the journey. You know what I mean? They
Mhm.
got they tasted blood with the Conference League, and okay, maybe they felt we should have got this, but that Club World Cup, they were not. There was no expectation, especially in the final itself, for them to win it, and to go and win such a thing, that whether anybody likes it or not,
And in
has
the manner.
the manner in which they did it, win such a prestigious competition. Winning breeds winning. And that's what Jose was referring to. He was referring to that first League Cup that he won with that Chelsea team. That was the catalyst to the other trophies that just came pouring in. That's what he was saying, but people tried to make it out to be something else.
Yeah, Dante, sorry, were you saying something? I cut you off because yeah, you're not important. You understand?
No, no, coach, I was good. I actually did finish. No, all good.
All right, we're keeping you awake. So this here, Ajax, quoting Ajax AD. Although negotiations are difficult, Ajax management have expressed understanding for Hato's decision. They know he wants to leave. Why are they finding it difficult letting him go? That's one thing I don't understand. All right, let's see what else we have here. Let's keep
Coach,
dropping the
when
lines.
when
Yeah.
when your player wants to leave, if he's a valuable player to you, you will. Ajax know that because of their league, they're a selling club anyway. But you will try and keep your best players, and you will talk to them in the background. However, when they make it public, you've got nowhere to go, and that's what these guys have done. They've publicly, and no more so public than when other clubs come calling and they tell them categorically they don't want to go. I think it's an open and shut case. It's just a matter of doing a deal with Chelsea. And
Mhm.
my impatience is, come on, Chelsea. You've got these guys. You've got their head on the chopping block. Why are you just toying? Just take your player and let everybody just find something
Just
else
to
to
add to
think
that,
about.
just to add to that, sorry. Yeah, look, he actually signed the contract extension last year, Hato, with them. So
Ooh,
yeah,
but
so that's
not lengthy.
not lengthy, but it was still a couple of years, contract extension to 2028. But
More like okay,
yeah,
it
so
was maybe the sort of extension that was part of the contract he was on at the time was just triggering the extension.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not sure about that. I
No,
just
no,
know
no.
that
If it was an entirely new contract, it'd be a long ASS contract.
no, it's an extension. It was an extension, so they
Okay.
just extended it by a couple of years. But yeah, that just tells you, like basically last year, not that long, 9 months ago, whenever it was, he signed that contract extension, so there was no plans of moving, leaving, really, to be honest. So yeah, obviously that's why they're probably taking it a little bit. They didn't really extend him properly a new contract for like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, because then if someone came along like we did now, well, then they would have to pay a lot more than we're probably going to pay.
Yeah. So yeah, a huge mistake for them if you ask them.
Mm.
But that's
Another
by the way.
another
Yeah.
way, just to add to that contract extension, where they backed themselves into a corner, is had they, extended it in a more substantial way, they may have been able to ask for a little bit more money. But now, as it is, they back themselves into a corner because of how much they sold Justin Timber to Arsenal. So they've set a price unknowingly. Uh, do you know what? I personally think that the negotiations in terms of the price, they've gone past that. This is now the contract details
Yeah.
itself.
And,
If
and
not, it
quickly,
wouldn't
it
be
looks like he
making any
started
sense.
playing in the left back position after the departure of Timber.
Yeah, I
Was that
mean,
what happened? I think that
No,
sounds
he's
about right.
he's
Timber played
versatile.
right back as well a lot more, coach. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
Yeah, he's versatile. I mean, he's 19 years old. I don't think it cannot be the selling price that's holding things up. It's got to be the details of the contract. If not, what's the point in these people coming out and saying it's advancing, it's advancing, it's
Hmm.
advancing? Well, the only thing that could be advancing at that pace is the details of the contract.
Exactly. And them doing that contract extension, that's why I wanted to bring it up. That might complicate things a little bit. So yeah, that's why.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll move on to the next item. We're getting there. Talk about Bobby's cousin. Sources have revealed that Fulham haven't said no to the notion of signing a Drewsbury Hall on a permanent deal from Chelsea if that is what is required to complete um, a move. This is something as if there's a proceeding, maybe. Is a proceeding or a report before this one that suggests we will consider offers, but it have to be on a permanent. I don't know whether to believe this. But one thing Vic said in the chat the other day is that I want every player to stay, but the truth remains to accommodate new signings, one or two would have to leave, and that's very correct. So
Very
I
true.
don't remember seeing anything that suggests we're looking to sell him. Um, but this sounds to see if there's something that suggests if it has to leave, it have to be on a permanent.
Permanent. Yeah.
It'll have to be for some serious money.
True. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
we're not playing around anymore. You're not going to come and get our players on the cheap, especially a player like him. How much did we pick him up for? Was it
30 million. Yeah.
30 million, something like that? So they're going to have to either match that or preferably better it because we don't particularly want him to go unless he, which is possible, turns around and says he wants to go to become a bit more of a main man, then that gives that affects the selling price. But so long as KDH is not prepared to really ruffle feathers, they've got to show some money, really.
Yeah. And let's see. I mean, again, if he can prove that he should be starting, I think the manager will respect that, given that he knows him. And I, that's a good player there, and he's proven himself that he's become a darling of the fan base. Nobody wants him gone now.
He has, which is not an easy thing to do at
Not
Chelsea.
easy, yeah.
You know,
Never easy.
it's to his credit because honestly, the only player that I wanted rid of more than KDH at one time was Rob Sanchez. But to be fair, both of them, KDH definitely has changed my mind. Rob Sanchez has gotten me feeling, look, this guy, give him another chance.
Mhm. To an extent, I can't believe hearing myself say that he's an excellent shot stopper.
Yeah, and penalty saver as well. He does bits.
Yeah,
His problem is just consistency.
yeah. Lapses in concentration every now and then. Yeah. All right. What
Shot
else do we
stopping was
have?
never his weakness, though. That was his strength, actually. So he was
Yeah.
always a good shot stopper. But yeah, like we say, those high pressure moments when the ball's at his feet, or even sometimes, closing down or something, those lapses of concentration that he turns off, that's the big problem with him. Other than why he's always been a top 10 goalkeeper, as in save percentage. So he's a very good shot stopper.
Yes.
But yes, unfortunately, and look, I think he's gotten better with his feet a little bit under Maresca. I think he's improved that a little bit, but still, unfortunately, it's going to be there always. That brain fade, unfortunately, will be there always. But just got to minimize it as much as we can.
Mhm. All right, more likes, people, more likes. We still have 50 people following the show, and we're stuck on 26 likes. I think we should be doing a lot better than that. In total, we have 185 people following the show, 42 on YouTube. The rest are shared between X and Facebook, with the equally Coachila doesn't know. All right, that's by the way. This particular report, Philip Fiends, who is this? This is not Simon Phillips. It reads: the club-to-club talks between Chelsea and Leipzig are ongoing while Leipzig are waiting for the first written offer from London. Xavi is ready to make the move to Stamford Bridge. Good news there. So I don't think that there's anything to talk about there. We're making progress. But let's
I
see
think
what
for me,
happens.
the significant part of this deal is when you have people like Egbali, Bowley, and
Involved in the process.
Feliciano. I mean, you're talking heavyweight stuff.
The bosses
Um,
are involved, right?
yeah, it's only gonna go one way
Yeah.
because those guys don't mess around and they can slap money down on the table, on top of the table, under the table, any which way you want it. So
Bobby, stop triggering my dirty mind, please.
that's
No more slapping, Bobby. Getting excited.
that's God, Lord of mercy.
Jesus Christ, I was sinner. Father, forgive me.
So yeah. So it's once they're involved, it becomes a bit of a one-way street. I mean, we've seen examples of it. We've seen it with Modric. We saw it with Enzo. Once these guys get on a plane and they go and they sit with the senior members of whichever club, um, the discussions are on another level.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for that, Bobby. I appreciate you. And Andres G says, please, Hato and Xavi, both, I believe, will happen. This year, from Ben Jacobs, reads that Chelsea are advancing talks with Xavi Simons. Terms are now broadly in place. Club to club talks are ongoing. I don't like the sort of language these guys use sometimes. What the heck is the meaning of broadly in place? If it's not in place, it is not in place. But that's by the way. I guess because yeah, they've it's a clamoring or the same topic every day, the same thing, just the reporting it from a different perspective. Which, if you take your time to analyze the report, you see, yeah, it's the same thing as what you heard yesterday. But that's by the way, Dante. You want to add anything to that? We move on. I don't think anything new has emerged
No.
since the show started, but we'll start anyway. But this year, this one has refused to go away. I don't know whether to trust Kieran Gill underscore DM. I think that's a triggering aspect of the name that it means just you can DM them for pieces or something. But that's by the way. This has refused to go away, and it's to a certain measure. It is believable. Certain factors lead to one believing that it's a possibility that he leaves at Chelsea. Newcastle have added Nicolas Jackson to their striker shortlist, but Chelsea are not itching to sell. We've always known that's the case, and would take a
I've got
hefty
something to say about that when
yeah,
you're
it would
ready.
take a hefty fee to convince Chelsea to part ways with Nicolas Jackson. He has 1,000 year left on his current contract. The valuation, reported valuation, for me is reflective of the fact that Chelsea are looking to sell him, just as reported there. But the player himself, would he want to stay? Because there are reasons to believe he's now the club's third choice goalkeeper. Believe, not certainly. We're not saying so certainly that's the case because we're not the manager. But Bobby, go ahead. We'll have you start since you're eager to say
Yeah,
something about it.
the point I wanted to make was, he's come out again and said this is for the umpteenth time that he doesn't want to go. He wants to fight for his place. Another thing here that I think is very interesting.
Hmm.
Now, I'm trying to take away my bias that I clearly want him to stay because I think Chelsea need three attackers. And I think I'm thinking of the club and I'm thinking of the season ahead. But trying to get out of my own head, I think, how does Anelka uh, Jackson feel? All these, all these so-called clubs that are after you, you're not their first choice. You're almost like, oh, if we don't get this, we'll get that. Oh, if we don't. So after a while, the guy's going to think, well, screw you. I'm still here. I'm still doing my thing. And I can, show myself to be better than these guys. I'm just playing a bit of devil's advocate here.
Hmm.
Coupled with the fact that he said he wants to, I mean, yet again, that he wants to fight for his place. The club have come out yet again and said, look, we're not really looking to sell this guy, but if you come with ridiculous money, of course, we're going to consider it. I wouldn't be surprised if he stays, coach. I just think,
I wouldn't be
Newcastle.
surprised either. Yeah.
Newcastle are putting in a lot of effort into Sesko. They're going there to talk to him about the project. They're doing this, they're doing that. And Jackson will be seeing all this. So if Sesko collapses and then they go for him, it'll be like, I don't know. He'll feel some type of way.
Yeah, I mean, it's that sort of situation. You never know what's going to happen. I think it's 50-50, leaning towards him staying and him leaving equally. In my opinion, there's no way to tell. Chances are he trusts himself well enough and not to be concerned about his place in the team. Strong belief in his abilities to fight and earn a starting place. Chances are we don't know. He fears competition and would rather go to Newcastle United where he'd become the starter if eventually they sell Isak to Liverpool. It's not that straightforward to figure out what will happen, but it's tight. From his perspective, I'd say yeah, probably not an easy decision, you know. But Andres G, thank you for that question. No worries. That's what we do here. It's not just about the panelists of those in the chat. Here, everybody's opinion matters. We put again. We put heads together to come to try to arrive at a sensible conclusion and
I
educate
have a
each other.
theory.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a theory about Isak. Isak hasn't done anybody any favors by coming out to say he wants to leave Newcastle at the time he's come out to say it.
Hmm.
Because a lot of the top clubs that would have gone for him have done their business. And honestly, even if Liverpool go for him, I think it might be an overshoot now.
Okay, yeah,
They've,
that's how I
you
see
know,
it.
yeah, they've got their Ekatike, they've got Wirtz, they've still got Salah, and now they want to get this guy who's not going to come cheap, who's not going to be on small wages. So he's going to knock all those noses out of joint, and then he's got to settle in the team. I'm not sure. I don't give a stuff about Liverpool, honestly, to be honest, but I don't think that's such a good move for them. I think this is one that could come back to bite them. Maybe it's wishful thinking, I don't know, but it's not, it doesn't seem that space that he would have walked into has other people there now. I don't think he did them any favors. They threatened Newcastle. They were in an either or situation with Newcastle. They were like, okay, if you want Ekatike, then sell us Isak. If you don't want to sell us Isak, then we'll go for Ekatike. Uh, Isak said nothing. Nobody said anything, so they went for Ekatike. It was only after they went for Ekatike that Isak or whoever has now made it public that he wants to leave. I don't think that's very helpful. I really don't. I think this could be a problem to Liverpool, certainly in the short term.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Dante. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, look, what I've been saying all along, he's always said he wants to stay. He's come out, he said it again, and he wouldn't say that for no reason either. You know, he probably would have spoke to Maresca and asked, inquired, what the plan is. And Maresca most likely he's going to be used quite a lot as well. Still, he's not going to just sit on the bench and never play again. So if he's saying that, like I said, he's been very consistent with that since he's joined us. He's always been the same, and he's always kept that consistent. So when I see that, I actually tend to believe him 100% if he says that. He's always been like that. So his character in interviews has always been the same. So yeah, look, he might have. I'm sure Maresca, assured him he's gonna get a chance. He's gonna get his chance, obviously. So yeah, I think he stays. I'm pretty confident he stays, to be honest.
So you don't think he leaves?
No, I don't think he leaves. I think we actually need that first striker. I mean, we got so many games. It's just the
His
injury away.
profile is different, actually. I think if anything, they all complement each other.
Correct. So he can play when we're not playing against low block teams. Your Aston Villa, some of these are sometimes other teams, Newcastle. Well, he's very effective in those games because how they play open. In Europe, he'll be very effective against some of those teams that play a little bit more open because they're top in their respective leagues, and then they don't play really only one way. So yeah, look, I think he'll still be very valuable. Like I said, injuries happen, suspensions, but especially injuries. If one of them goes down, well, then God forbid, the second one goes down. He's the only striker then. So yeah, we need that depth. We spoke about that earlier in January. We couldn't quite get that depth, and what happened? Two of our strikers went down the next morning of the transfer window. Two strikers went down at the same time, and we had no strikers left. So yeah, I think it's important he stays, fights for his spot, and I'm sure Maresca has a hand in that as well. He would have spoken to him and assured him that he will get his chance.
Yeah, I do agree. I think I've checked. Nothing new has emerged since the show started. But if you have any questions, so drop it so we can round up as soon as we can. We've been streaming for 2 hours on the dot and 2 hours and 50. Yeah, 2 hours on the dot. A few minutes on top of that. So if you have any questions, and remember the rule: do not ask any difficult questions. Otherwise, I'll pretend I cannot see it. I don't know.
A bit of a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
There was all this talk about who was it that was looking at Sterling? Is it Leipzig?
Napoli. There was also
I think it was Leipzig.
Fulham too.
That's right. That's right, Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham.
Now Fulham could do
is
well.
Is it pronounced
to get,
Fulham the H is silent?
Fulham.
Fulham. Okay.
No, Fulham. Fulham would do well to get Sterling. To be honest, I think he would fit a team like that well, because one, he'll get regular game time, and two, there won't be that pressure on him. Trouble with Sterling is that he's actually lost form. If he
It's
ever
been
had
awful
it
for a few seasons right now.
Yeah. I don't know, but we'll see. I think if anybody Fulham's going to shell money out on, it'll be him.
Yeah, and on loan, definitely. I don't think they're going to buy him on a permanent, and we probably will subsidize again a huge part of his salary. That's what I think is going to happen, unfortunately.
Another thing, I mean that could happen. But going back to the KDH thing, I know people are thinking, well, if Spurs go for Paulinho, then that will open a gap for KDH at Fulham. But they're forgetting that KDH may still want to have his chance at Champions League football for a season. And Fulham's not going to offer him that. West Ham's not going to offer him that. So no wonder he's a little bit quiet about their knocking on the door for him, because they've got nothing to offer him apart from first team football.
Yeah. Again, Bobby, anything else you want us to talk about? I think that's about it. We're getting no questions. 28 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that, but that's okay. Hopefully, we get used to how the like thing works on a vertical stream. Anything else you want us to talk about, Bobby?
Sorry, no.
You're good. Okay. All right. I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to Andreas G for joining. Thank you for Miney Blue Blood. Thank you for joining. 324 Lusula, Mary Gilbert. Who else was here? Staff was here. Ayodeji and the Real Gems, and of course Constantine Dantu and our senior panelist and Bobby. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for finding the time to be part of the conversation. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide.